I'm Dave Froehlich. Thanks for watching this CrimeWatch digital exclusive where we take a look back at recent crime stories making headlines in our area and across the state. Friends of a man who was shot to death in Northeast Austin are sharing their memories of him. Police have identified the 20-year-old suspect and charged him with the murder of 30-year-old Tyler Cochran. Fox 7 Austin's Meredith Aldis has more.
Keep up the good work. Proud of you. Love you, kiddo.
A voicemail the Witt family now cherishes, as well as two peculiar items.
These are items that Tyler had purchased to be delivered to our house. They arrived over the weekend. You know, this must be his last joke to make me wear these terrible things because he won't get to.
Austin police say 30-year-old Tyler Cochran was shot dead by 20-year-old Clayton Ty Teague early Friday morning. Then seconds later, an unnamed security employee shot Ty Teague and critically injured him.
The security officer did use his firearm in self-defense.
This all happened in the parking lot of the Michelobos Sports Bar off East Breaker Lane in Northeast Austin. It's an area police are very familiar with, responding to 34 calls for service last year and 61 so far this year.
But it's not just the number of calls for service, but the intensity of those calls.
Most likely as a direct result of the presence of several nightclubs in this area, sports bars, and after-hour establishments.
The commander who oversees the area says they've been meeting with property owners and managers since April to determine what's making this a, quote, corrupt zone.
But I want to reassure the community that things are happening. They're happening aggressively and at a quick pace. We want to make sure that our communities know that we hear you. You set our priorities.
He says this is a priority, so families like the Witts don't have to experience such tragedy.
Shock, disbelief.
Bobby Witt says Cochran lived with he and his family from age 14 until about 19.
He was definitely like a big brother to me.
Witt says at the time of the shooting, Cochran was doing well. He had a girlfriend he was living with in College Station and had a steady job working construction.
To go out at such a peak, it really makes us wonder where he could have gone. What was next?
Meredith Aldis, Fox 7 Austin News.
The Austin Police Department says the suspect will be charged with first-degree murder. The security employee who fired his gun is not facing charges. 4 people from Austin are accused of stealing over $50,000 of merchandise from Victoria's Secret. Sofia Hernandez, Angelica Chavez, Joe Garcia, and Lisa Vasquez have all been charged with felony theft. According to an Austin police report, the group was identified by a Victoria's Secret investigator in more than a dozen incidents. APD executed a search warrant on 2 homes and discovered the roughly $57,000 in presumed stolen items. Additionally, police say they found a stolen handgun. At this time, Garcia remains the only one behind bars. He's facing a total of 15 charges, including first-degree aggravated assault. Police are searching for 2 suspects connected to a robbery in South Austin. It happened at a bar called the Lucky Lounge on Menchaca on October 16th. Police say around 3 in the morning, this man entered the bar with a pistol, pointed it at a female customer, and stole her purse. We're told the same suspect then robbed a cashier at gunpoint. Another suspect remained at the door as a lookout. First suspect is described as a black man in his mid to late 20s with a thin build, wearing black pants, white shoes, and a black hoodie. The other is described as a man with a muscular build, wearing skinny jeans, black shoes, and a gray hoodie. If you have any information that could lead to an arrest, you're asked to please call Austin Police. A reward of up to $1,000 may be available. Court documents reveal new information about the deadly stabbing at Manor Senior High School. Police say the 18-year-old, who's now facing a first-degree murder charge, stabbed a classmate in a school bathroom. Fox 7 Austin's Meredith Aldis has the latest.
Students yelling, "Oh," and "Mac Brown had a knife" caught a student resource officer's attention on Tuesday afternoon. It was lunchtime at Manor Senior High School. Court documents say the officer glanced towards the bathrooms and saw a student with his hands in his pockets. The officer says he asked him to take his hands out. He didn't, and there was a struggle. The officer eventually removed his hands from his pockets, one of which had a kitchen knife in it. The officer says back at the lunch area, a student was found with multiple stab wounds. The blood splatter indicating a fight between 2 students started in the restroom and ended in the hallway near the lunchroom. Students capturing the aftermath on video.
We saw videos of like this kid like on the ground and like pictures of him on the ground like with like him holding his neck and like I think a police officer holding him.
I'm traumatized. I don't know what to say. After I saw the video, I didn't want to see it again.
Darren Loving was stabbed to death. Mac Brown in Bonway was arrested and charged with first-degree murder.
Once everybody got the news, we were all automatically shaken up. So we're all thinking like, okay, I can't just sit here and focus on this screen when I know somebody literally like near us, it got hurt.
The school was placed on lockdown. Students were sent home early and classes were canceled for the rest of the week.
I don't know if I feel safe in the school.
You don't know how you're sending your kids and you don't know what's gonna happen. They're not safe.
Manor ISD says at the time of the incident, 2 designated district police officers and 1 safety officer was on campus, which is the daily standard. They say hand-wand metal detectors are available for random screenings, but aren't used day to day.
Schools tend to be very reactive, which is not the right way to be. We need to learn from what's happening in other schools and at least put some modicum of security arrangements in place. Violence can take place anywhere, and you want to target harden as much as possible. Have metal detectors, have a system in place where kids know they're going to be held accountable for their actions.
The district says since the incident, they've reviewed their security protocols and are evaluating additional measures like enhanced screening procedures, increased security staffing, and additional training for staff and students on conflict de-escalation.
I also want to make sure that going forward, if anything like this ever happens, that they have plenty of protocols in place for the safety of the kids.
Meredith Aldis, Fox 7 Austin News.
Austin Police and AT&T are partnering to crack down on copper thieves. The internet service provider is offering up to $10,000 for incriminating information. Travis County Judge Andy Brown called copper theft a, quote, significant threat to our public safety and our community. Austin Police say they've made several arrests this year, but are still seeing a staggering increase in this type of crime.
Last year, we had about 210 cases of theft of metal. We are already just hitting the 200 mark this year. For AT&T specifically, we have seen over an 800% increase in cases that are AT&T lines.
Copper thieves are targeting Texas's critical infrastructure, including emergency response systems, water systems, utilities, and communication networks, putting Texans at risk and costing taxpayers and private companies millions of dollars every year.
Tips for identifying copper thefts while they're happening include someone checking out wiring, wearing casual, non-workmanlike attire, or driving vehicles without any company branding. Also, if someone's doing this all at night, that's a big red flag. If you see something suspicious in your neighborhood, you're asked to please call 911. Round Rock Police and U.S. Marshals are still investigating a violent incident at a McDonald's. Here's more on that story from Fox 7 Austin's Jenna King.
We don't have a lot of information right now, but we do know that there was a heavy police presence here last night and near the McDonald's on East Palm Valley Boulevard.
This all began Friday evening. Police responding to the McDonald's on East Palm Valley and North A.W. Grimes Boulevard. You can see the caution tape around the perimeter of the restaurant, along with Round Rock crime scene investigators. A Fox 7 photographer on scene said there appeared to be at least one body on the ground. You can also see bullet holes in one of the cars. Police are not confirming any fatalities or those reports of a shooting, but Round Rock PD did confirm that none of their officers were directly involved in the incident. Round Rock police say they are assisting the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force in the investigation. That task force works to apprehend violent offenders on the federal, state, and local level. Investigators were on scene for most of the night, and finally it cleared that scene up around 4:30 Saturday morning. Round Rock police stress there is no danger to the public.
Round Rock PD tells us that the U.S. Marshal's Office is investigating. In Round Rock, Jenna King, Fox 7 Austin News.
The wife of a Harris County deputy who was killed in a hit-and-run crash is speaking out after jurors convicted his killer of intoxication manslaughter. Fox's Jonathan Mejia spoke with the widow.
I feel a sense of relief. I wake up and I'm not scared. I wake up and I figured, okay, I can function better, knowing that what's ahead, it's not wondering what's going to happen.
It's been long years for Lupita Gutierrez and her family. Her husband, Harris County Sergeant Ramon Gutierrez, was killed in a hit-and-run crash by Lavilia Spry almost 3 years ago in January of 2022.
It was extremely hard. The only thing we could do was lean on each other the way we always have, because nothing was certain. We didn't know what was going to happen, and not justice doesn't always, prevail the way we would want it to.
Except this time it did. Jurors found Spry guilty of intoxication manslaughter and sentenced her to 43 years in prison. Spry was drunk when she hit Gutierrez, who was working on an off-duty job escorting an oversized load on the Beltway 8 feeder road near Tidwell.
She had no apps available to her. She had nothing installed in order to think about prevention. So we know that she had no intention of doing that.
It was an intense week for the family as they learned more details during the trial. The defense team wanted to take a plea deal. For a second, the family almost accepted until Gutierrez says District Attorney Kim Ogg refused to let the family accept.
We were given a life sentence. The moment that I received the phone call, the moment the doctor said we couldn't do anything for him.
The family's happy to finally have justice and make a call out to everyone to drink responsibly.
There's so many options out there with the technology that we have today. There's Uber, there's Lyft, there's friends, and there's so many different options. So if you're going to go out, just plan ahead, be prepared, and it could save lives, and also it could save your family from going through a lot of grief.
A North Texas man has been sentenced to 10 years in federal prison for running a healthcare scam. Prosecutors say he used the millions he made in stolen cash to fund a lavish lifestyle and Hollywood career. Fox's David Sentendry has that story.
A Dallas pharmacy owner, 37-year-old Ivor Jola, shown here on his public Instagram page, was trying to make it as a Hollywood director and screenplay writer, listed on IMDb as a screenwriter for the 2019 movie Grand Isle, starring Nicolas Cage. Now, Jola is sentenced to 10 years in federal prison for scheming insurance companies out of tens of millions of dollars.
So he was making all the millions,
The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Texas says Jola and co-conspirator Shannon Turley submitted at least $46 million in bogus claims to insurance companies, $41 million of that which was reimbursed. Jola used that money to buy land, luxury vehicles, and more.
But cars were very noticeable, one after another.
Jola's former neighbor says high-end vehicles were consistently rolling in and out of his far north Dallas home, raising suspicion.
He was probably doing something bad, who knows? Outlandish, I can say that, way outlandish.
According to plea papers, Jola and his co-conspirator operated at least 9 Texas pharmacies and would pay marketers for insured patients' personal info. Some patients were unaware. Others were aware and required a fee for their information. The duo also paid doctors to fraudulently stamp prescription forms. 10 additional defendants have pled guilty to their roles in the scheme.
They don't intend to go into the business originally to commit fraud. There's something that happens along the way where they take that turn, which I would say that evil turn.
Former U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Texas, Richard Roper, says these insurance scams are becoming more common, and the dollar amount of this one is substantial.
$41 million is a lot of money.
We want to thank you for watching the Fox 7 Austin Crime Watch digital exclusive. Our Crime Watch stories run each Monday on Fox 7 Austin News at 9. If you miss them, you can watch anytime on our Fox local connected TV apps, free to download, and you can watch on multiple platforms like Roku and Apple TV. Just scroll down from the live player and look for the Crime Watch shelf. And then for more stories highlighted in this episode, you can head to our website, fox7austin.com. And don't forget to subscribe to the Fox 7 Austin YouTube channel.